I was just hearing your name come out yesterday when Nomi was talking to Cassie.
I don't know what is her problem and his problem, but they'll both be alright. That alliance that building, they should work on it. I leave my name out of their mouth. It's the same thing you do at parties. You stand in front of the mirror, like, what is going on? That would actually take a book for him. They think he should write a book about all the housemates. Each chapter will carry your name. I could write about people you are not that interesting. I'm telling you, bro. You saw that one. I said, bro, you are boring. You are the most boring person here.
Thank you.
If you're not fighting, there's nothing else to you. So your whole chapter will likely be 1 page or 2 pages. That's all. She said, you wish.
What told her?
Yusuf. You wish that she's very. You are what? What are you? You should bring 5 people that are like her. They'll fight. I'm like 5 people like you. Hey, God.
So I've already mentioned the fact that she's sleeping half of the day.
Half? You said half?
No, sorry, 3/4.
Oh.
Anytime I feel like I am dragging Goddessa too much, she does another thing that makes me be like, no, I am not even dragging this girl enough. This girl thrives on tearing other people down, especially her fellow women. Because tell me why the same Nomi that she had like a gist session this morning with Nomi in the garden. And as soon as Nomi left there, the next thing she turned Nomi to the topic. And those people that are saying Goddessa is making Sheba bitter. No, Sheba is a big girl. She can take care of herself. She is exactly where she wants to be. Okay, I am not going to be excusing Sheba's gossip, and very malicious gossip pattern as well. I won't be forgiving that. She's exactly where she wants to be. She wants to be Goddessa's gossip partner, and that is where she is. Because I don't understand. This is your friend. No wonder Cassie said something to Nomi yesterday night. I don't think she caught it. She did not catch it. Even Nomi says things that she's very smart, all that her prideful behavior, nothing come out. Like, these people, very funny, shallow people, to be honest. Please like the video, okay? And subscribe or follow, depending on where you are seeing this. So this morning, they were in the garden, they were gisting about stuff. And then later on, when Goddessa, I think there was Araga there, so Araga just didn't add anything, I've noticed that about him. It is one thing to be a guy in love. It is another thing to be the gossip partner, like become their official gossip partner as well. He usually does not contribute a lot to these types of conversations. And I think for that, but they are talking, and she talked about how, I think it was Barry that gave Aiko an advice that he should write a book. Aiko is the intellectual in the house. At least there's a word that I'm trying to use, intellectual passing. He's passing as the intellectual in the house because he is not really an intellectual, right? He's a curious-minded person. It's not the same thing. So he told him to write a book, since he's also very observant as well. Write a book. Each chapter will be his observations about any of the housemates. And I thought that was, when she said it, I was like, that is such a beautiful and brilliant idea. And if he's smart enough, he will make it a hardcover and find a book casing to put it so that these housemates can literally just use it as a decor piece, the way that you would see people buy those decor piece books from very popular fashion brands and use as coffee table books. Yeah, you can just, and that is even more substantial because there's a chapter that belongs to you. No person from any season has done this. And I think that was a very brilliant idea. So according to, Goddessa, as they were having that discussion, of maybe Nomi was in the vicinity as well, and Yusuf threw a jab at her that her chapter will just be of her fighting because there is nothing about her more than the fights that she's had, which is true. Let's be honest with ourselves, okay? Nomi, if you think of Nomi's journey so far in the house, it is fights. Most of the fights that have happened, right, in the house that has got people really talking, Nomi is involved. the fight with Ricky was literally what kickstarted the dramas of the week. Okay. And then that fight with Ricky sort of like continued and blossomed into shipwrecks. And another fight, remember that other fight on the table between Tammy and this other girl? Yeah. And then the next thing it was with Tram. And it has just sort of like continued. Tram with her fought like 2-3 times before she decided that, okay, I'm not going to give this guy my attention anymore. And that has ceased. And then the other conversations about Tammy, it is funny how she considers Goddessa as her friend. But Goddessa is the one that has poisoned Tammy's mind against her, gossips her in the most malicious way whenever she has the time and the opportunity. And yes, she considers Goddessa as her friend. Yesterday night, Cassie was telling her, you consider Goddessa your friend? She said yes. And he was like, you don't know what she says behind your back. In the conspiracy rooms, you would realize something different. That thing passed from here, come off for here. No one was retained. Not a single bit of what Cassie said was retained. That is how I know that, how, I am sorry that I'm going to use this analogy. So there was this time that Genevieve tweeted something on X, and people were like, it is better you keep your mouth shut because we already have a certain idea of you in our head. Don't come and mess it up with, don't come and mess up the idea of you that we have in our head. It is very hallowed. Don't be down. That is what Nomi is giving. You would think, it is better that she keeps quiet and maintains that air of mysteriousness than that she opens her mouth to speak. Because have you heard her talk? Nothing of substance. So there is nothing of substance. It's, if you listen, you get bored. There's really nothing substantial. You know how there are certain people that they are all-rounders. They can be shallow, they can, depending on the context of the conversation or the people that they are with in the moment, they can be deep, they can be mid, they can be shallow. The only thing making Nomi seem like, is the fact that they talk. If she begin talk now, people will realize the type of person that she is. And nothing come out. I'm telling you, extremely shallow. It is why what Cassie said, fly from here, pass here, she didn't retain anything. She considers Goddessa her friend. For somebody that was saying she's very perceptive and how that Tammy is looking to fill a void, that's why she's begging and following her for friendship. You can't see through Goddessa. Hey, you cannot see through Goddessa. Like, girl, I mean, you don't rent out your intuition. It reached Goddessa turn, you don't see anything. It is Temi that was even just genuinely coming for a friendship because, it's Temi that is the genuine one that you decided to badmouth. Now, even Temi and her, you hardly ever see them anywhere close. No wonder Goddessa said the only person that she can be close to is Cassie. Goddessa said, Nomi said that, in this video, I don't even know who I'm dragging. I'm dragging everybody, right? Goddessa said, Nomi said Biggie should bring more interesting characters into the house. Interesting characters like herself. That is Nomi herself. That's how Sheba said, interesting character like how they sleep every day. And then Goddessa was like, she sleeps half of the day. Sheba said half of the day, I be 3/4 of the day. I think it was Goddessa that said, you're even saying half of, like, you're being generous saying she's sleeping half of. Nomi is really, if we are being honest, right? I know that people like Nomi because, she can bite and she can bark, right? But beyond the fight, there is really nothing else to Nomi. Even in contributing to task is zero. Let's just be honest. That's why I said, you see the way she's keeping herself mysterious. That's the only thing she's got going on for her. And you see that friendship with she better keep it. She better, because that's the only thing going on. That's the only other storyline about her that is sane, that you can hold on to and be like, oh, this one is good. If not, all your storyline in the house, your journey in Biggie's house is bedeviled with fights. Yeah. And this is the same person that is saying people are not interesting enough. She herself considers herself interesting because she fights with people. So she thinks that entertainment is only fights. And no wonder she thinks that she's all that. I think it was yesterday night they were saying that nothing happened in the house, nobody fought. I was just watching them and thinking, you think nothing is happening in the house because nobody fought? You people think content equals to fighting. A couple of days ago, I saw someone make a post on X, and it was just that scene that you remember, that 10/10, where one day they just started to do nonsense. It was there was Mensan, there was Rude Boy, there was the other guy that likes to talk a lot, Culture, and the rest of the people, and they started using accents, different Nigerian accents, to be talking nonsense. Some people were dancing. It was just like people started posting it, and they were like, this was entertaining. And this was a random day in the house. People are not watching because they want you people fighting all the time. Fights as entertainment should make up like maybe 20%. And that's because dramas are bound to happen where you have strangers, a bunch of strangers competing for something. Yes, fights are bound to happen. But hey, people, that's why they are lazy. That's why the season is not entertaining, because what they consider people would think as entertaining is fights. And they cannot manufacture the fights. And that's why also, if you look at it very well, most of the fights that have happened this season, they are manufactured. People picking up things that they shouldn't pick up and start, like even that fight between Nomi and Ricky. No, but she first talk, it was Blutopia. Blutopia left the conversation. Nomi entered and turned it to fight. The one that Trump picked up with Nomi, it wasn't his fight. He was just angry that she called Belle's mother, not realizing the fact that, or maybe just deciding to not know that Belle's called her mother first. Like, you're just picking up people's fight. It's not even your fight. It's not creative enough. If we want to drag now, we don't even know who to side and who not to side. Because both of you are just doing nonsense. That is why we have a boring season. Because people are not creative. They are lazy mentally. A lot of them in the house are mentally lazy, shallow. They can't come together for one night to do something interesting that people can just watch and let there be no fight but be fully entertained. They cannot. Every night that they have tried to host a games night, they fight and they scatter it before it ends. That's not entertainment. And most of the fights are very useless fights. Like when Goddessa went to start fighting with Araga for kissing Sheba. It was so forced. Like, I think for now, even though I dragged Temi for that night, it was only that Temi's fight with the housemates that seemed organic. Now, why it caused like 5 fights? Goddessa. I wonder how she grew up. She is bitter, like the kind of bitterness that makes you wonder if she has ever seen what love feels like or looks like. The need to tear people down to make herself feel better, that is a symptom. It's a symptom of something much more darker. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And as for Sheba, she is right where she wants to be. Sheba's fans should not push the blame to Goddessa. Sheba said na gossip and a malicious one. It been there inside. Goddessa is just amplifying it. Be back for more.